Hello students, how are you all? In the previous class we saw about respiratory system. Today we are going to see about transportation. What is meant by it? Different substances are transported from one place to other place inside the body, from where it is synthesized or the place from where it is absorbed. So transportation is one of the life process in which a substance absorbed or synthesized in one part is moved to the other part of the body. Transportation in human being mainly include the circulatory system, which is responsible for transportation of nutrients, respiratory gases like O2 and CO2, waste products, hormones, enzymes within the body through blood and lymph. I think you know what is hormone. Hormone is a chemical messenger. Can you name any one hormone? Yes, thyroxine. Very good. Then enzyme. Already we studied in digestive system many enzymes. Okay. Blood flows through blood vessels. Blood vessels include artery, veins and capillaries. Cir- Circulatory system comprises heart, blood and blood vessels. Heart is a pumping organ. It is located in between two lungs, slightly tilted towards the left. Then size of the heart is closed fist of our palm. It has four chambers. First floor two chamber, ground floor two chamber. The first floor chambers are atrium or auricle. The ground floor chambers are ventricles. Okay. Then blood. Blood is a connective fluid in which blood cells are found. So blood include plasma, RBC. I think you know what is RBC? Yes, red blood cells or red blood corpuscles. It has hemoglobin that only gives red color to our blood. Hemoglobin, chem, iron part, globin is a protein part. Yes, do you know if hemoglobin amount becomes reduced or less? Can you name the disease? Anemia. Next, WBC. WBC is nothing but white blood cells. It is a police force of our body. It only gives protection to our body. The next, platelets. Platelets are very important for what? Clotting of blood. Okay. Then blood vessels. Blood vessels include arteries, veins and capillaries. So already we saw heart is uh, situated in between two lungs, slightly tilted towards left. It is made up of cardiac muscle, then the muscle which is present inside the heart gives rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Because of that, pumping also takes place. Pumping of blood from heart to different parts of our body. Yes, in this diagram you can see that very clearly. The heart is covered by a membrane called cardiac pericardium. Because of that only a person specialized about heart, we used to say cardiologist, because the membrane which covers the heart is pericardium. In between the heart and the pericardial membrane, the cardiac fluid is present. It absorbs mechanical shock and any injury and pass vibration very slowly to the heart. Okay, here four chambers you can see. The upper two chambers are atrium. The down two chambers are ventricle. Then right side you can see blue color that shows impure blood or deoxygenated blood is running inside. Then left side pure blood or oxygenated blood. So don't think only in the heart only right side deoxygenated, left side oxygenated. But in our body parts, all the places both blood is present. Okay. Yes. Here easily you can remember LORD, LORD, left side oxygenated, right side deoxygenated. So you can ask, who is your Lord? Heart is your Lord. So left side oxygenated, right side deoxygenated. Okay. So oxygenated blood shows red, deoxygenated blood shows blue color. Now first right side, right atrium, the down is right ventricle. Right atrium and right ventricle separated by a auriculoventricular septum. Like that way, ventricle in the left side down, upside left atrium, both are separated by interauriculoventricular septum. Okay. Then now in the middle, right side and left side also separated by a septum. Then from atrium to the ventricle, there is a tricuspid valve. This valve allows blood from atrium to the ventricle. The same way in the left side, bicuspid valve, it allows blood from left atrium to left ventricle. Then the top you can see vena cava, it is the largest vein. Veins usually collect deoxygenated blood. Among the veins, the largest vein is known as vena cava. Superior vena cava that collect blood from upper portion of the body. Lower portion, inferior vena cava, collect blood that pour blood into the right atrium, that is shown in the diagram. Then right ventricle. Then from right ventricle, the pulmonary artery carries blood to the lungs for purification. Purification is nothing but giving away the carbon dioxide and carrying oxygen. Then after purification, the blood carried by pulmonary vein that reaches the left atrium, that is also shown there. Then from left atrium, the blood goes to left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. Then from left ventricle by aorta, it's supplied to different parts of our body. Aorta is nothing but the largest artery. Okay? Yes. Here this schematic representation shows from heart how the blood goes to lungs and different parts. See the upper portion, it shows lung capillaries, then down body organ capillaries. Yes. See the red color shows what? Oxygenated. The blue color shows deoxygenated or impure blood. Impure blood means rich in carbon dioxide, that is carried by vena cava. You can see that in diagram very well. Then it carried to the lungs by pulmonary artery. You know, in artery, one exception, pulmonary artery alone carries impure blood. Like that way in vein, pulmonary vein alone carry pure blood. That is shown in this diagram. Then aorta carries the pure blood from heart, that is from left ventricle to different parts of our body. Blood circulation mechanism. Here in human, the circulation of blood is called double circulation. Why? In one cycle, twice the blood enters into the heart. So it is known as double circulation. It is very important because the chambers are separated. There is no mixing of blood. It is very essential for highly developed organisms. Then heart is made up of muscles. When the muscles of all four chambers of heart are relaxed, the pulmonary vein brings the oxygenated blood from lungs to left atrium of the heart. First you keep in your mind left side atrium, pure blood. From where? From the lungs. Related to lungs, everything known as pulmonary. So from the lungs, pure blood by pulmonary vein reaches the left atrium. Then from left atrium, the blood goes to the left ventricle through valve 1. Then when the left ventricle contracts, the oxygenated blood enters into the artery, that is the biggest artery known as aorta. From aorta, the blood is forced to different parts of our body by arterioles. The oxygen is used up there in the cells and tissues, then they are giving back carbon dioxide. Now the blood collect it and become carboxyhemoglobin is more inside the blood vessel, that is called a deoxygenated blood. Now it is collected by vena cava. Vena cava is nothing but the largest vein. It collects from different parts of our body. From upper parts, superior vena cava collect. From lower part, inferior vena cava collect. From heart, coronary sinus collect the deoxygenated blood and pour that into the right atrium of the heart. From the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood is pumped into the right ventricle through the valve 2. When the right ventricle contracts, the deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary term related to what? Lungs. Artery, this artery alone carries deoxygenated blood. Now this is rich in carbon dioxide. So it goes to the lungs and purification takes place. Purification is nothing but what? CO2 is removed and oxygen is added. Now the pure blood through pulmonary vein reaches the left atrium. Like that way it is taking place continuously. Twice the blood enters inside the heart, therefore it is known as double circulation. A circulatory system in which blood flows twice through the heart in one complete cycle is called a double circulation. Here there is no mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. One more thing, it is also called a closed circulatory system. What is it? The blood is moving inside the blood vessel. In cockroach, the blood is poured into the cavity, body cavity. Do you know the color of blood in cockroach? White color. So it is hemolymph. The cavity is fully filled with blood. But in our body, blood is carried by blood vessels. It involves two circulation, systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. This flow chart shows it very clearly. Pulmonary, the term already I told it related to lungs. Then here from different body parts you can see, then goes to vena cava, right or auricle or right atrium, then right atrium to right ventricle, then pulmonary artery to lungs, lungs to pulmonary vein, that is oxygenated blood, then pulmonary vein to left atrium to left ventricle to through aorta it reaches different body parts. So like this way the flow chart is shown. The part which is related to lungs, that is pulmonary circulation. The other thing is systemic circulation. Yes. Advantage of double circulation. The separation of right side and the left side of heart is useful because there is no mixing of blood. Because this energy needs is very high for doing all the activities. So such separation allows a highly efficient supply of oxygen to the body. This is very useful in those animals, we can say highly developed organisms like human, birds, because they need more energy to maintain their body temperature. Next one, blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force that is exerted by the blood against the wall of a vessel. When the blood passes inside the blood vessel, it exerts pressure on the wall of the vessel. The pressure is more in artery than in vein, because in artery only pure blood, so the pressure is more. The pressure of blood inside the artery during ventricular systole. Ventricular systole means when the ventricles are contracted. When the ventricles are contracted, what would happen? When the right ventricle is contracted, the blood supply to pulmonary artery. When the left ventricle is contracted, the blood passes into the aorta. At that time, in the artery, the pressure is created. That is only called what? Systolic pressure, because more supply of blood to both. pulmonary artery and also aorta. Then the pressure in artery during the ventricular diastole, that is in the relaxation condition, is called diastolic pressure. So the pressure of blood inside the artery during ventricular systole is systolic pressure. The pressure in artery during the ventricular diastole is called diastolic pressure. The normal pressure is, we used to say 80 to 120. 120 is systolic pressure, 80 is diastolic pressure. The pressure BP is measured with the help of a sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer. You might have seen inside that mercury columns are there. It moves up and down, but nowadays they are using digitalized pressure meters also. High BP is called hypertension. That is due to constriction of arterioles. Because of that, it reduces the flow of blood. Okay, it resists the blood flow inside the artery. It may lead to rupture of an artery and internal bleeding. Yes, you can see the sphygmomanometer in the diagram. The mercury level is shown. Systolic pressure is 120. Arrow mark shows 80. Diastolic pressure. Then we can, when they are doing this, they used to keep the steth on that plays and feel that sound is lub, dub, pass, lub, dub, pass, like that way. That is systolic pressure and diastolic pressure create that sound also. Yes, this diagram shows the blood vessels. Already you know artery, vein and capillary. See, in the artery, the biggest artery is known as aorta. The next one is artery. Artery becomes narrow arteriole. Then arteriole become narrow. We can call it as capillary. Then capillaries join to form venule. Then venule join to form vein. Vein join to form vena cava. I hope you understood. Just like from municipal tank, the water coming to the main street to your street or your road, then from your road inside your compound. Like that way, the biggest aorta, aorta to artery, artery to arteriole, arteriole to capillary. Up to this, pure blood is coming. Then from capillary, tubule, they are collecting deoxygenated blood carried by venule, venule to vein, vein to vena cava. Here the diagram shows the structure. The differences between arteries and veins, very important. 2 marks or 3 marks question they used to ask. Arteries, away, you can keep in mind. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Veins carry blood towards the heart. Arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Veins carry deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. Artery is usually deeply seated. That is a very deep. Veins superficially seated. Then arteries usually have thick muscular wall. Why? Because they are carrying pure blood, so more pressure inside. Veins thin and less muscular wall. Arteries narrow lumen. The width is very less, but veins wider lumen. Arteries blood flow with the jerk because with the high pressure it goes. Veins blood flows without jerk. Then arteries, the walls are elastic, veins walls are non-elastic. Then arteries, they do not collapse when empty, but veins collapse when empty. So this is the difference between arteries and veins. Capillaries. Capillaries are very fine blood vessels. Artery branch into smaller and smaller arterioles and finally into capillaries. All the functions of the blood are carried out through capillaries, like digested, food is picked from the small intestine in the form of a villi. Villi is carrying what? Absorb the digested food. That is of course related to this capillary. Oxygen from the alveoli that is also capillaries, carbon dioxide and other waste from every cell, and so on. Capillaries connects artery to vein. Maintenance by platelets. Already we saw in blood plasma, RBC, WBC, platelets are found. Platelets helps in clotting of blood. Platelets are otherwise called as thrombocytes. They are fragments of cells in bone marrow. Nucleus is absent in platelets. Queen Elizabeth family, they got royal disease. What is it? Lack of platelets. So when they got wound, continuous oozing of blood, then sometimes it may lead to death. This disease was found out from Queen Elizabeth family. So the name of the disease is what? Royal disease. Hemophilia. Lymph. Yes, here you can see the arteriole connected to capillary, venule, veins, all these shown here. In addition to all that, lymph is also there. Lymph is also a fluid, light extracellular fluid. It contains less protein molecule. Macromolecules are not found, but it has digested food also. It flows in only one direction. The other name of the lymph is body fluid. Lymph drains into lymphatic capillaries from the intracellular spaces, which join to form large lymph vessels that finally open into larger veins. If lymph fluid accumulate, then we can say that is only edema, especially in the knee region, swelling occurs. Transportation in plants. In plants, transportation takes place with the help of conducting tissue, xylem and phloem. Xylem for conduction of water, phloem for conduction of food. WX, water, W, xylem, like that way, phloem, food, like that way easily remember. Xylem carries water and minerals in the upward direction only. Phloem carries prepared food from leaf to other parts of the plants. It is also responsible to carry hormones made by plants in their root tips and shoot tips. Transportation of water and minerals takes place through the two kinds of elements of xylem tissue, tracheids and vessels. Both are the non-living conducting tissues which have thick walls. Transport of water and minerals. In xylem tissue, vessels and tracheids are helpful for the transport. First, from the root absorbs water and minerals from the soil, then to the stem to the leaves. All these are interconnected to form a continuous system of water containing channels reaching all parts of the plant. The root cells in contact with the soil actively take up ions, that is minerals, along with water. Then there is a lot of concentration difference between the root and the soil. So from higher concentration to the lower concentration, passage of water and ions, that is from soil to the root hair, then from root hair to the root, then from root to the root cortex, endodermis, and reach the root xylem. Then from the root xylem it passes to the stem, then to the leaves. They enter to the stem xylem. This means that there is steady movement of water creates a column of water that is steadily pushed upwards. In the previous part we saw that diagram shows the arrow marks, the movement of water from soil to the top. Only 1 to 2% of water absorbed is utilized for photosynthesis and other metabolic activities. The remaining water comes out through stomata by the process of transpiration. What is transpiration? The excess of water evaporated from the plant in the form of water vapor through the stomata. This loss of water is compensated by the movement of fresh supply of water to the leaves with the help of suction pull. What is it? Loss of water by the leaves creates a suction, that is only suction pull, Because of that, from the soil, water enters the root, root to the stem, stem to the leaves through xylem cells. Thus, transpiration helps in the upward movement of the water from roots to the leaves, which is called ascent of sap. Transport of food and other substances. The transport of food from one place to other place is known as translocation, and it occurs in the part of the vascular tissue called phloem. The phloem also transport amino acids and hormones. These substances are especially derived to the storage organs of roots, fruits, seeds, and to the growing organs. The translocation of food and other substances take place with the help of seed tubes, especially, and companion cells, both in upward and downward direction. Osmotic pressure is the cause for translocation of food and other substances. Next session we can see about excretion. Thank you.